I'm from New York originally. I was born in New York City, in Brooklyn, and I grew up in Long Island, in Roslyn. And then I moved to Florida, and that's where we met. And we've been here for September 1st, but we visited in Cuenca for the past 2 years, about 4.5 months before we moved here. And I'm a registered dietitian, I'm a nutritionist, that's my profession. I am a diabetes educator. I talk about health and weight and food and nutrition. And why did we move here? So we'll let you introduce yourself first.
Okay, well, my name is Ken, this is Susan, and I also was born in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, and I went to college there for food service. And I moved to Florida in about 1975, and I never moved from Florida until I moved here. And again, we moved here in September. I think we moved here for many reasons. So we had a list of probably 20 reasons that we wanted to retire in someplace really nice. And I think we ended up in Cuenca because it checked most of our boxes. The weather is great, the people are friendly, the food is good, the weather is good. The city is a good size for us because it's big enough to have everything that a city has, and it has culture, and the culture is free. We love to go to the symphonies because they're great and they're inexpensive or free. The museums are free, and overall we really like the city, and it checked most of our boxes, like I said.
I would say also that the reason we decided to move to Cuenca, we visited. And we felt really warm. We felt really good simpatico with people who didn't know us. You know, both Ecuadorian and American and Canadian people that we got in touch with. We like to walk. And where we lived in Florida, you know, it's such a big state where we lived, there was no public transportation. Okay. So to get from here to there, either you had to drive or ride your bike. In Florida, starting in May and going through November, it is over 90 degrees and 90% humidity. It is so hot all the time. So we are really enjoying the climate, and I think that really makes a big difference for us because we love to walk. What we notice about Cuenca, it's so interesting too, is that people don't pay attention to the weather at all. If it's raining, people just walk, they don't care. I think they like the sun less than they like the rain. When it's too sunny, people cover up, they get very annoyed, right?
Yeah.
But the rain, everybody knows if it rains, it's going to stop and the sun will come out later. So it's kind of fun. I like. I think for me, since I used to live in New York City, I understand cities, and I understand there's a different feeling about cities. People move faster, they're a little more pushy with each other, so, you know, I understand that. I can say pretty confidently that we're comfortable here, that I don't feel a lot of culture shock. The language is difficult. I feel that I want to be able to speak better Spanish, so we're taking lessons, we're trying. I read better than I could talk, and I think that's the most difficult thing for me. When I go to the market, I want to be able to talk to people and understand, you know, how to bargain, how to, you know, negotiate. Yeah. You know, I want to be able to feel confident, and I want to not just you know, be a gringo. I want to be more, you know, of a resident, you know, somebody who belongs.
Yeah. And I think for me, there's not much culture shock. Susan and I have traveled quite a bit. So we've been in many countries, mostly in Western Europe, a couple of times in South America and Central America. So for us, I don't think we have a lot of culture shock, and I would have to say for me, the same. I have some problems with the language, but we knew we were going to have problems with the language. We had a little bit of experience with Spanish. We're both taking classes, and we're having fun doing that. We have a great teacher, and we're excited to take many more Spanish classes until my goal is to be able to speak like a 5-year-old child. That's my goal. If I can speak like a 5-year-old child, I'll be happy. But otherwise, I don't think the culture shock has been too bad.
I have one culture shock.
Go ahead.
One culture shock is the fact that pedestrians have no right of way. There is no right of way. They have a couple of crosswalks. Once in a while, somebody will take pity on you and say, okay, you know, I try to make eye contact. I'm from New York City. I know how to walk in the city. But here, you have to be understanding that the car is king. And that's kind of difficult. I have to, that was my big culture shock. So
Okay.
now I have to respect that. I am in love with almuerzo. In particular, the vegetarian almuerzo, there's a chain of restaurants, and I don't know if I could publicize them, El Paraíso, El Nuevo Paraíso. I mean, every day you could get a big bowl of vegetable soup with no grease and some kind of a nice dish, and I love that because I'm almost basically a vegetarian. But we have some good fish. I'm surprised at all the international food in Cuenca. Lots of really good pizza. But as far as it being different than the way I ate, this is how I eat at home. I eat vegetables and the markets are wonderful. I eat shrimp, the trout is wonderful. I don't eat meat, I don't eat cuy, I don't eat it here, I didn't eat it at home. So, you know, I enjoy the food here a lot.
Yeah, and for me, I'm just very happy about how inexpensive good fresh vegetables are.
Yeah,
here.
vegetables.
I mean, when I
Fruit.
could get 20 tangerines, 20 mandarinas for $1, or broccoli like this and cauliflower like this, two of them for $1.25 or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So we're extremely happy about how
Happy
easy it
with
is to eat healthy here. That's really great.
Yeah.
You can go to the markets, you can buy good fresh fruits and vegetables very inexpensively.
We're not the type of people who have to have everything exactly like it was in the United
No,
States.
no.
What we're getting here, we're enjoying, and that's what we got. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we have.
And then the prices
Prices
are
are good.
great.
They're good, and for retired people
Yeah,
who don't have an income,
yeah.
you know, it's
That's
helpful
great.
to know that we could afford to eat healthfully and go out when
And,
we want to.
there's no lack of top quality 4-star restaurants in this city either. There's so many really quality restaurants, and then those restaurants that we like to go to for almuerzo for $2, $3, $4. They're also great.
Yeah, great.
We're very happy with the food here.
Yeah.
That's
Very happy. We recommend other people to come here.
Yeah.
I would have to say that in our checklist of 20 questions, everybody has a different checklist. So I don't try to sell Cuenca to anybody, but if they ask me, I try to give them an honest answer. Everything is not perfect here. There's a few things that aren't great. I say if you're not very good at walking and you're maybe a little bit overweight and don't like to walk a lot, this is probably not the best city for you. But if you like a healthy lifestyle and you like this kind of weather, you know, if you like the beach, it's not the beach. But I don't try to sell Cuenca to anybody. But on my list, I have a lot of quality things that I could say about Cuenca.
I would say, come and visit. Don't fall in love with a place that you've never seen before.
Only because
You know,
you've read about
You've
it.
read about it. You should come, invest the time, stay in the city. You know, it is a city. It has some pollution. I'll be happy if they get those buses and, you know, make them cleaner. It's important for everybody who lives in the
And the
city.
electric tram.
But there's a
comes-
lot to offer here. You know, for anybody who would like to me, you know, if I'm as an American, I always compare this city to Charleston, South Carolina. It is about the same population and the same size. It's a type of city where you can walk from one end of the city to the other end of the city and see all kinds of things in between, and go to a museum, and go to a concert, and go to a restaurant, and go to a park, and just relax and enjoy. And it has a lot of culture and a lot of history, and that's what I think we like about it a lot.
I think it's a good place for a photographer. I think this country and this area particularly is a photographer's dream. I just came from a daytime trip from to Guayaquil and back. And I was not with Susan, but with other friends, and it was like every 5 minutes, it was like, look at that, oh my God, look at that. And just the buildings, the architecture, I love architecture, so we have this city from the 1500s that's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and therefore they have to keep the buildings the same. So if you're a photographer here, the mountains, the whole city is surrounded by mountains, so that between the mountains and the Cajas and the National Park, and the architecture and the people and the native dress, I think the place is a photographer's dream.